In the headlines, one person dead, 14 others injured in Yobe flooding. ICPC probes Reps Committee investigating alleged job racketeering in MDAs. Nigerians skeptical over subsidy removal want a policy reversal to address current hardship. From the international scene, Gabon coup leader Nguema vows more democracy after ending Bongo's rule. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us. And now the details. The Yobe State Emergency Management Agency, the SEMA, has revealed that one person lost his life while 14 others sustained varying degrees of injuries due to the flood in Damaturu, the state capital. The executive secretary of the agency, Mohammed Goje, who disclosed this on Friday via his verified Facebook page, noted that the SEMA team had carried out a rapid assessment of the disaster. Goje said findings revealed that over 200 households have been affected in Ganyankura, Malari behind WFP warehouse, Pompomari, Mainawa, Abari West and Bulabulin Taleki communities. While commiserating with the victims, the humanitarian agency assured that they will receive first-line support within available resources. He enjoined communities to adhere to early warnings on relocation, drainage clearing, and all measures that will prevent adverse effects of flooding. A commercial motorcyclist has died while his two passengers sustained injuries in a road crash in Ogun State. The Ogun Police Command said the crash was recorded on Friday along the Lusaga-Igbesa Road at Dodota local government area of Ogun State. A truck driver identified as Muyiwa Akinranti had reported the incident to the police. According to Omolola Odutola, the police spokesperson in Ogun, Akinranti told the police that the incident occurred as he was driving his truck from Lusada inward Igbesa at Gasline. The driver had said while he was preparing to turn towards Lusada at a turning lane, he noticed a vehicle approaching from Igbesa towards Lusada, adding that while he waited for the vehicle to pass, a reckless motorcycle rider riding on top speed from Lusada collided into or with the left side of his truck. The trio were reportedly rushed to the St. Anne Hospital in Lusada, where 35-year-old Joshua Zosu, the Okada rider, was pronounced dead by the attending doctor, adding that the two passengers, Mesa Yusuf Yinka and Moses Stephen, are responding to treatment. Meanwhile, the police command in Katsina State has arrested 10 suspected fraudsters in possession of fake 144,000 naira notes. The command spokesperson, ASP Aliyu Abubakar Sadiq, said this in Katsina on Friday. According to him, the suspects were arrested by detectives on August 28 at Bakinkaswa quarters in Kankia, following credible intelligence report. Abubakar Sadiq added that during the investigation, the suspects allegedly confessed to the crime, adding that they will soon be taken to court. One of the suspects, Bello Abubakar, 58, said he bought mercury from Kebbi at 300,000 naira, with which they mint the fake currency. The police also announced the arrest of 4 suspected kidnappers and their informants. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, says he is determined to address insurgency and insecurity in Northeast region and across the country. He stated this during an operational tour in Borno State. Beatrice Kurutsi has the details.
The Chief of Army Staff operational tour in Borno State makes it his second visit to the state ravaged by insurgency. The Chief of Army Staff received briefings at Maimalari Cantonment from senior officers of Operation Hatinkai on challenges and strategies to enhance security in the region. The Chief of Army Staff said the issues raised at his interactions will be addressed and it will come up with a template in tackling insurgency, kidnapping and banditry in the country.
The whole essence of coming around this time is to have an opportunity to go around and physically interact with the troops, hear firsthand from them, so that the Army headquarters can take appropriate actions on the challenges confronting the formations and units in the theater in the bid to bring more stability to the people of the state. And so, from here, I'll be going around to all the sector headquarters in Damaturu and even here in the Malari Cantonment. I will hear from the troops and take necessary action to address the challenges that we have observed developing in the theater, the challenges of kidnapping of civilians on the highway and the use of IED to attack civilian vehicles, convoy traversing the roads.
The Army Chief commissioned 30-unit accommodation for troops at the Maimalari Cantonment before departing for Abuja. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences, the ICPC, is probing the House of Representatives Committee investigating alleged job racketeering by ministries, departments and agencies, the MDAs. The move follows petitions against the committee and allegations of bribery against the probe panel. In a statement on Friday evening, the anti-graft agency said it has started an investigation into the matter. The move is coming weeks after the committee said it got petitions against 39 MDAs over job racketeering allegations and other violations. Gagdi reiterated that the committee, in line with its objective, will engage over 600 MDAs to look at any wrongdoing in the country's civil service. Meanwhile, the Committee of Vice Chancellors of the federal universities in the country on Friday denied allegations of offering bribe to the members of the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee investigating the job racketeering in federal agencies to obtain favor. The Vice-Chancellor said rather they are eagerly waiting the conclusion of the work of the committee as they have confidence that it will help them address the issue of manpower shortage in the universities. The Vice-Chancellor of the University of Jos, Professor Ishaya Tanko, who spoke on behalf of the Vice-Chancellors when they appeared before the committee, said to the best of his knowledge, no money was sent by some Vice-Chancellors other than the ones meant for a foreign exchange for them to attend international workshop organized in Birmingham, the United Kingdom, beginning from Tuesday, September 5th. Chairman of the Ad Hoc Committee, Yusuf Gagdi, said the committee has resolved that it will not be distracted from the central issues of its investigation. According to him, the publication was aimed at diverting the attention of the committee.
We also, surprisingly, read the very, very disturbing social media, kind of publication. And I can say that the vice chancellors are not part of that. The vice chancellors have not provided any bribe to anybody. The vice chancellors, dispersed from this National Assembly, from this committee that day. But I want to assure this committee on behalf of the Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities that we have hope and confidence in this committee, in this ad hoc committee, because I can tell you, Mr. Chairman, as we speak, more than 5 programs of the University of Jos are in danger of not receiving accreditation because of this issue of employment.
The matter is before investigating authority. So the chairman will be fair, the committee will be fair. We thank you for coming. We have no question to ask. if I had behaved like this yesterday, so that some people will not feel you are shouting, you are angry to intimidate people from saying the truth.
The Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, is set to embark on a two-day nationwide warning strike on the 5th and 6th of September. National President of the NLC, Joe Ajaero, told newsmen on Friday that the strike would be a total and indefinite shutdown of the nation. The NLC president spoke at a press briefing after the union's National Executive Council meeting on Thursday night. Noel Sampson reports.
Organized labor is unhappy with what it calls the federal government's refusal to engage and reach agreement with organized labor on the critical issues which have impacted negatively on Nigerians. Of course, on top of the plate are the consequences of the hike in the price of petrol, which has unleashed massive suffering on Nigerian workers and masses. To compound matters, the union is uncomfortable with the renewed onslaught against trade unions and the leadership by the state and its agents across Nigeria. The NLC claims the police, under the instruction of certain forces paddling the name of the president of the federation, have invaded and occupied the national headquarters of the NURTW, making it difficult for the union to discharge its responsibilities to its members across the nation.
The Imo State government has continued in its efforts to cloning the Congress in the state in order to continue its exploitation of workers' rights and privileges, despite all efforts at reaching amicable resolution. The Abia State government has continued to interfere in trade union affairs and seeking to impose its own leadership on the state councils of National Union of Road Transport Workers and National Union of Local Government Employees, and has continued the inglorious path of workers' intimidation and union bashing in Abia State.
He said the next resolution was to embark on a total and indefinite shutdown of the nation within 14 working days or 21 working days.
To commence a two-day nationwide warning strike on Tuesday and Wednesday, 5th and 6th of September 2023, to demonstrate our readiness for the indefinite strike later in the month, and to also demand that the state vacates the illegally occupied national headquarters of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, to embark on a mass protest and rally in Imo State within this month of September 2023 in preparation for a shutdown of the state to compel the state government to stop the abuse and violation of the rights and privileges of workers and trade unions in the state. The FCT minister failed to stop forthwith the attack on workers and thousands of Nigerians through the demolition of houses, which are mainly for the masses and the less privileged and the third of the earth, that NLC will engage the minister on the streets of Abuja.
Nigerians are hopeful the government and the union will come together to a roundtable and have solutions. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
People with disabilities are some of the hardest hit by the Nigeria's rising cost of living, with many struggling to cope with their financial responsibilities. Sofian Mustafa is a physically challenged 300-level student of sociology at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, who says many people with disability are now returning to the streets to beg, to make ends meet. Take a look.
The ripple effect of fuel subsidy removal affects every sector of the economy, with poor Nigerians taking the heat. Sofian Mustafa is one of them. Mustafa said the physically challenged persons are at the receiving end of fuel subsidy removal because they are subjected to more economic hardship.
Some of them do go back to street for begging, which we are fighting to eradicate in the country. We have more than 32 million disabled people in Nigeria and more than 5.5 million blind people in Nigeria. But you will be surprised to hear that only less than 2,000 blind people among these 5.5 million people that are in school, and less than 1,000 in universities.
Mustafa is among the few physically challenged persons studying in the university, but he said many are helplessly leaving school now because they cannot afford the tuition fee.
With regards to the increment of school fees by many universities now, you'll see that most of us are indirectly being expelled from school because they have increased school fees and nobody to sponsor most of our people.
They noted lack of support from government as their biggest challenge.
Anything you can do as a sighted person, I can do. For example, I'm a computer programmer. Yes, I learned 4 programming languages: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, and I can be able to create whatever you can create. And instead of the government to encourage me or encourage us by supporting us ultimately to provide the necessary equipment we use, since we have special equipment for all of these kind of things, no, but we are being retrogressed either by refusing to support us or by depriving the opportunities we have from other sectors.
Mustafa appealed to state government to consider people with special needs when distributing palliatives. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
You're watching news updates on Trust TV. Coming up, we will take a look at Adire traders' concern over the influx of adulterated products from China. This and more after the break. Stay with us.
That's great.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Here is a recap of our top stories. We brought you 1 person dead, 14 others injured in Yobe flooding. An ICPC probes Reps Committee investigating alleged job racketeering in MDAs. Now moving on to more stories, residents of Adamawa State are longing to get the free 25 kg bag of rice being distributed by the state government as part of a palliative package. Salis Lawan reports that the government's initial plan was to sell the rice at a subsidized rate. Take a look.
Initially, civil servants were to buy the 25 kg bag of rice at the 10,000 naira only, while the less privileged and persons with special needs will get it freely. But the statement changed its mind to distribute the 60,000 bags of rice free to the residents. Residents called for just, fair and equitable distribution, irrespective of party differences.
I'm confident that this program will reach to the bottom, where it's supposed to be. I'm telling you with confidence, as a member of this committee, that nothing will stop this program going to the grassroots.
We are here since morning as asked by our political leaders at the ward level to come along with 10,000 naira for the 25 kg of rice.
Today, he made it openly, clearly to the public that free for vulnerable groups. And we're part of the vulnerable groups that we're going to collect our own sooner. So they should be patient in the distribution of palliative. It will reach everybody. So people should be patient, especially my community. The people with disability, they should be patient.
There's already modus operandi that the palliative committee has done for the sharing or distributing the palliatives to each and every most vulnerable person in the community. This palliative came as a result of the hardship people are currently experiencing. I do not think a reasonable mind who has been given his share of palliative will sell it to the market. I doubt if that can happen. And already there's a sound warning from the government and the advice from the palliative committee that people should please make judicious use of the palliatives that they may get from the government.
While flagging off the distribution, Governor Ahmadu Fintri has warned that no government officials should be a beneficiary, as anyone found will be punished. Salis Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
Traders of indigenous Adire fabrics in Ogun State are seeking the intervention of the government to end the incursion of adulterated Chinese Adire in the Nigerian market. The traders specifically called on Governor Dakpo Abiodun and State House of Assembly to ban the sales of adulterated Chinese Adire in the local market, saying this would save the culture and heritage of the state. The report.
The traders made their feelings known during an advocacy walk through major streets within Abeokuta metropolis. The walk, which terminated at the Palace of Alake of Egbaland, was to sensitize the people on the dangers of the invasion of adulterated fabrics. At Alake Palace, the protesters displayed the differences between locally made fabrics and the imported Chinese Adire, noting that the proliferation of the Chinese version is to the detriment of the local markets.
After this invasion of the China made, these guys, ladies that are doing these fabrics, that are batik designers, that are tie and dye artists that are into this industry, so many of them have lost their jobs. So many of them have lost their jobs. And if we should open our eyes and say we are not concerned about what is going on, if youths are losing their jobs, we all know that the society will not be at rest.
The responsibility of the government to protect the populace. And I think it's the high time for the government to come to the rescue of indigenous textile and promote and protect the indigenous textile, because it goes a long way. We are saying made in Nigeria. We are saying let Nigeria economy grow. How can Nigeria economy grow if we start having piracy of indigenous cloth? If we cannot help the SME, so then what are we talking about? The people, we people in this industry, we are the SME, and every nation that doesn't protect the SME is going to have economic back down. So we are still appealing to government. They should step in. We need raw materials.
While expressing hope that the issue will be properly handled, they said it has led to loss of job for small and medium-scale entrepreneurs in the state.
In business, the Naira appreciated against the dollar on Friday as it exchanged at 740.38 Naira at the investors and exporters window. The Naira gained by 2.93% compared to the 762.71 Naira it exchanged for the dollar on Thursday. The open indicative rate closed at 775.17 Naira to the dollar on Friday. A spot exchange rate of 799.90 Naira to the dollar was the highest rate recorded within the day's trading before it settled at 740.38 Naira. The Naira sold for as low as 720 Naira to the dollar within the day's trading. A total of $85.79 million was traded at the investors and exporters window on Friday. And from the international scene, Gabon's new leader, General Brice Oligui Nguema, on Friday promised to ensure that the country's institution would be more democratic 2 days after heading a coup that ended 55 years of rule by the Bongo family. In a speech, Nguema said the dissolution of the institutions decreed on Wednesday during the coup is temporary, noting that the move is to reorganize them in order to make them more democratic. Ngema also stepped up contacts with national groups and foreign interests, meeting members of civil society a day after a speech to 200 businessmen whom he lectured on corruption. Broadcast on state television earlier Friday, he sternly warned business leaders in the oil-rich state against overbilling and told them to commit to the development of the country. He vowed to make sure the overcharged money comes back to the state. He also invited foreign donors, diplomats, and members of the international organizations to meet with him. And finally, in sports, the Nigeria Professional Football League Board has approved an increase in the payments of referees for the 2023 to 2024 season. The increment of 30% was made with the support of the league's strategic partners, GTI Assets Management. The chairman of the NPFL, Gbenga Elegbeleye, said the increment was based on the general increase in cost of transportation all over the country. The new season has been slated to start on Saturday, September 9th, with a flag-off fixture between Shooting Stars and Plateau United at the Lekan Salami Stadium in Adamasingba, Ibadan. And with that, we wrap up news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms, and you can join our YouTube live stream for more news, program, and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.